Volleys should be one of the most simple technique options in tennis. Unfortunately, many recreational players make the mistake of just doing too much. In this video, Kirby, Ian, and myself are going to take you through 3 easy ways to make your volleys much more accurate. At the end of the video, you'll have an option to get a free gift from us that will help you improve your touch. As I just mentioned, the volley is the most simple technical shot that you can hit. But the vast majority of players do way too much, meaning they hinge back and then move forward to contact. And then, quite honestly, probably follow through a little too much. So you have a vast array of different potential angles that the racket is facing at contact. Now, if I were to hit a ball here, the ball would go straight up. And on the opposite side, at the end of my swing, I would finish here, the ball would go straight down. Now, these are obviously 2 totally extreme examples. But the fact of the matter is, unless you time this motion correctly and hit the ball at ideal contact point, which would be right about here, you're gonna spray your volleys. You really have no control over where they go. Now, you might get some additional power, and that's all well and good if you time it correctly. So what we're looking for you to do is make your technique a lot more short and simple, just by placing the racket at the correct spot and letting the ball bounce off. Just remember, the more movement you have in your motion, the harder it's going to be to make clean contact. You have a ball coming in one direction and your racket coming from the other direction. So lining them up with a lot of movement is going to be very difficult. So not only will this help you hit more accurate volleys, it will also help you hit them a lot more clean.
Now that Ira's talked to us about volley simplicity, I'm going to talk about overall calmness and looseness on these volleys so that you can hit the most precise and accurate volleys that you've ever hit. Now, most of the time what we see at our local courts is people clenching their grip and tensing up when they hit a volley, not really registering that truly the more pace that you have, the more you can absorb and the less that you have to do. So I am literally going to ask you right now to do less on your volleys. To demonstrate that, you can go out on a court and use a partner or a ball machine to feed you from 2 different spots on the court. Ian's gonna help me demonstrate. So right now, Ian and I are very close to the net. I'm actually basically within distance to touch the net. Ian's just gonna toss the ball to me. I'm gonna stick out my racket and I'm going to do nothing, just to show you how little I need to do and how loose I can hold my racket to get the ball back to him. All I had to do was hit it right in the middle of the strings and make contact with the ball, and it goes right back. Just one more, Ian. So you see my racket rebound because I'm holding it so loosely in my grip. If I find myself holding the grip really tense, then I'm going to make a deliberate effort. I'll even shake out my hand to hit the next shot really loosely. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is I'll be halfway between the net and the service line with Ian on the baseline. We're gonna rally and I'm going to hold my racket very loosely. I don't have to do a whole lot in order to get it back to him past the service line. All right, here we go. So my racket is really not doing a whole lot. I'm just making clean contact in the middle of the racket, holding it very loose. And yet I'm still getting it past the service line every time. So one more reason why I was able to get it past the service line is the angle of the racket face, which Ian is going to talk to you about now.
Now that Ira and Kirby have you on the right track with your volley accuracy as it pertains to simplicity and also calmness, let's talk about angle of the racket and exactly how that plays into the overall picture when it comes to being able to hit exactly the shot that you want. And the most important thing to understand here is there is no single angle for success. There are so many different variables when you're at the net, including the speed that the ball is coming at you, the height that you're making contact, how much and what type of spin are on the ball, and also your target. Am I trying to place this deep, close to the baseline? Am I trying to hit a soft drop volley? Am I trying to hit an angle? There's so many different variables, but I feel like a lot of players and a lot of coaches really oversimplify things. In fact, just earlier today, I watched a volley video where a coach said that the angle of the strings should be at 12 degrees. Like, that's where your volley should be to hit a good volley. Well, that might work great on a waist-height ball from Kirby that's coming at that speed right to me. 12 degrees might be outstanding. But what if I get a ball that's quite a bit higher than that, and I want to hit directly at a target and put the ball away? Well, my racket face is going to be a lot more closed than 12 degrees open. What if I get a ball that drops down below the net by the time the ball gets to me? Well, my racket has to be a lot more open now. And so to simplify it down to one angle is unbelievably oversimplified. And the reality is you have to be able to, on the fly, depending on what Kirby gives me, I need to be able to find the right angle for each individual shot, for each individual target that I have. And so for you watching at home, I strongly recommend that A, first of all, just understand that this is the case, and then B, give yourself permission to experiment and try different shots. Best would be with a ball machine or somebody who can feed to you so that you have that variable constant, and then try different targets and experiment with different angles. Different speeds and different angles will combine to give you different heights and different depths of shot. And good net players know how to adapt on the fly and pick the right angle to be able to hit exactly the spot they want, and that's when you're going to start being really accurate with your volleys.
By following the tips that Ian, Kirby, and myself just went over, you'll be well on your way to hitting the best and most precise volleys that you ever have. But if you're serious about taking your volley game to the next level, then go ahead and click on the link in the description down below, where you'll have access to a free bonus video detailing more about your volleys. In addition to that, you'll also receive a volley action plan PDF that you can take with you to the courts the very next time you go out to practice.